This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
New documents, more details about the relationship between the mother and stepfather of two missing Pictou County children.
Drug problem. Inverness residents gather to tackle what they are calling an epidemic in their community.
And sticker shock. Nova Scotia soccer fans call foul over ticket prices for the upcoming Men's World Cup.
Another round of rain overnight in through early Friday, and then temperatures tumbling throughout the day as things freeze up. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. It's been more than 8 months since two children disappeared from their home in Lansdowne. 5-year-old Jack Sullivan and his 6-year-old sister Lily were reported missing on May the 2nd.
Now, new court documents are offering more details about the relationship between their mother and stepfather. Angela McIver reports.
Newly released court documents in the case of missing children Lily and Jack Sullivan provide a closer look at the relationship between their mother and stepfather. The latest details come from lifted redactions CBC and other media outlets have been fighting for in the case. The documents include an affidavit filed by RCMP that explains the investigation to date.
Malaya Brooks Murray and her boyfriend Daniel Martel were together for about 3 years before Jack and Lily disappeared on May 2nd. All of them lived in the Lansdowne trailer where the children were last seen. According to the documents, Martel told police they'd been fighting about money. His mother also referenced financial difficulties. The new records disclosed that in an RCMP interview, Brooks Murray said Martel would try to block her, hold her down, and once he pushed her. She said he would also take her phone from her when she tried to call her mom, which would sometimes be physical and hurt. Martel provides a different account. He told police their relationship was good and they had ups and downs like any other couple. He said they would yell at each other when they were fighting, but there was no physical violence in their relationship. RCMP Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon confirmed the nature of their relationship at the time of the children's disappearance is part of the investigation.
Are any of the children's family members considered suspects in this case?
I wouldn't say anybody's a suspect. Again, we continue to gather information and whatever evidence that we are able to find, and we'll make our decisions based on that. But we are not in a position to really comment on suspects or anything like that at this time.
The case is still being investigated under the Missing Persons Act and has not moved to a criminal investigation. But in new submissions, the Crown noted that while there is currently no reasonable grounds to believe a crime has taken place, it could become criminal.
When they state that there are no reasonable grounds for a criminal offense, what that really says to me is that there's currently not enough evidence to make an arrest for a crime, but a crime is not obviously being ruled out. It's a very important linguistic distinction.
The documents also say RCMP are using technology-based investigative techniques which may provide information to support criminality and help find Lily and Jack. Angela McIver, CBC News, Halifax.
Since the province's announcement of a crackdown on illegal cannabis dispensaries, it has faced criticism and some questions about the reasons behind the decision. Now it's giving only a vague explanation of how it estimated how many dispensaries are in the province. Shayna Luck has that story.
Around the province, many dispensaries are doing business, and some are asserting a treaty right to sell cannabis. Matthew Cope is a dispensary owner who's trying to make that argument in court.
I thought that it definitely wasn't a public safety crackdown, it was just fear-mongering.
He questions the justification provincial politicians have given for asking police for a crackdown.
I think it's about taxes, 100%. It's about maintaining a monopoly.
When the province announced the crackdown, it said a review had found at least 118 dispensaries in Nova Scotia. I requested that review under Freedom of Information, but was told it doesn't exist. So I asked the Premier and Justice Department, how did you do that math?
That's an interesting question because it's when you're an illegal drug dealer operating illegally in a province, you don't register with the province.
The Premier said he remains concerned about what he characterized as a growing problem.
It doesn't matter to me if it's 118 or 18. It's illegal to operate those dispensaries in this province.
The RCMP don't keep a running tally of dispensaries. In a recent interview, their lead on cannabis said he thinks 118 sounds reasonable, but he couldn't confirm it.
I'll defer to the province of Nova Scotia because I'm sure they've done their math.
The Justice Minister would not directly say who did the original count or give many details on how it was done. He called it a matter of routine intelligence and said the number has grown. He wouldn't say by how much.
Any number I would give you would be not accurate, but I can tell you it's larger. It's not, you know, we're not talking significantly larger, but there's a larger number. But one is too many, as the Premier said.
In an email to CBC, the province said focusing on the number misses the point, adding, it's about preventing harm, not statistics. Shayna Luck, CBC News, Halifax.
A large crowd showed up for a town hall meeting in Inverness last night. Locals say they are concerned about the drug problem in the community and are calling it an epidemic. The CBC's Anna Rack has the story.
Why don't we start a Narcotics Anonymous meeting right here in Inverness?
Emotions were high in the Inverness Fire Hall as locals shared their stories about how drug use in the community is affecting them. There were about 300 people in attendance, all concerned about what they're calling a drug epidemic. When Rhonda Wiswell shared her experience, some people in the audience began to cry.
What people don't understand is that as an addict, we're not trying to cause pain. We're trying to relieve the pain inside of ourselves. We don't want to hurt the people that we love. That's not what it's about.
She says she was a drug addict herself. Now sober, she wants to help fix the problem in Inverness.
It's nice to see a lot more support than I was expecting. I thought it would be a lot more judgment and criticism than support, so it was a great turnout.
Dwayne Beaton organized the meeting. He is someone who has dealt with addiction in the past and also recently lost a friend to an overdose. The large turnout is something he did not expect.
Succeeded in getting this problem noticed and starting to bring the community together, but we definitely have a lot more work to do.
Nova Scotia Health offers 3 recovery support centres with outpatient programming in Cape Breton. Locals say that's not enough.
So we obviously hear the concern in terms of that gap of service that currently exists for a population of individuals that need and would benefit from that overnight inpatient care. And so certainly for the Cape Breton Regional Hospital that was recently paused, the goal is to reopen.
Beaton says he'll be forming a committee with Nova Scotia Health to brainstorm further and come up with a plan for action. Anna Rack, CBC News, Inverness.
Halifax isn't the only municipality that will see a water rate hike this year. So will those in the Liverpool area. Residents on municipal water will see rates jump more than 60% in 2026. The Region of Queens municipality says the increase is needed after years of undercharging for water. The utility has aging pipes and an accumulated deficit of more than $1 million, partly driven by repairs needed after lightning strikes. The Provincial Regulatory and Appeals Board approved roughly a 61% rate increase over the next 4 months, followed by 26% next spring. Queens will offer a rebate for low-income households making under $35,000 a year.
All right, Ryan's here. Time for a quick look at the weather forecast.
Yes, soggy but mild today.
Very mild, and a bit of a break from the rain for this evening, at least for most of us, but that rain building back in overnight and certainly a damp start to Friday. Still a bit mild in the morning, but those temps are going to be dropping, and that is the big theme for Friday, no question. As we look at the timeline, note late evening into the overnight, filling out the green on the map here again, which is the rain. And then by tomorrow morning, we're ranging from 4, 5, 6 degrees across the province. And then watch as we move throughout the day. That rain is going to retreat. We're looking at the very gusty westerly winds, gusting 60, 70, 80 kilometers per hour. And that wind will be ushering in that much cooler air mass. So by Friday afternoon, we're at -3 in through the Tri-County area. Still 5 and 6 degrees across Cape Breton by mid-afternoon, but by supper time or shortly after, below freezing here as well. Onshore flurries, the risk for some snow squalls setting up tomorrow in those gusty westerly winds, especially across the Cobequid Bay area and down towards the Tri-County area. That system will depart, and then, more action to watch for the weekend, especially into the Saturday night time period. We'll talk about that with your full forecast coming up.
We'll want to hear all about it. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, the Nova Scotia government has cut down drastically on the use of hotels as emergency housing. Since 2020, the province has paid for hundreds of people each year to stay in hotels temporarily to prevent homelessness. But in the past year, the government says the number dropped from 251 to 36. The change is mostly due to a program that started in 2024. Through the Master Lease program, the province funds community organizations to sign leases with landlords. Then the organizations sublease the units to people in need.
It's changing lives. These are people who have been chronically homeless, who have not been able to establish this with all of the other supports that were available in previous times. But since 2024, when we launched this, it's just been a huge success. I mean, an 86% reduction in 1 year is pretty significant.
The Master Lease program had a budget of about $15 million last year.
As we mentioned on Wednesday, the number of people in the province looking for a primary care provider has dipped below 67,000. But any further data about the need of family practice registry continues to be withheld as a validation process that started in June of 2024 continues. Today, the health minister could not say when that might change.
Still is, fortunately or unfortunately, it's a very human-intensive program, so there's still validation work that's happening, and actually validation will be part of it ongoing, because now there's a questionnaire often when individuals are contacted about what their immediate needs are, etc. I think there'll always be that human touch, but it still is very much a manual process, and so pulling those numbers is not easy.
Thompson says there are plans to convert the process to a digital system, although she could not say when that will happen.
Elections Nova Scotia is looking for an extra $3.5 million in funding this year. The provincial agency says the money is needed to prepare for the next general election and to oversee up to 3 potential by-elections. A government committee has agreed to send the request to the Finance Department for consideration in the next provincial budget. If the government approves it, Elections Nova Scotia's total budget would be just shy of $8 million.
Soccer fans in Nova Scotia are sharing their disappointment over the price of tickets for the upcoming Men's World Cup.
With some running thousands of dollars a seat, some fans are saying they're being priced out of the tournament that Canada is hosting along with the U.S. and Mexico. Gareth Hampshire has that story.
Hoo-ha, Canada! Hoo-ha, Canada!
This Cole Harbour World Cup soccer superfan couple can't wait for the tournament this summer. But going to the games is something they're still trying to figure out because of the price of the tickets.
I was hoping to follow the team to go to different places where they will be playing to watch them. Unfortunately, just the pricing of the tickets is extremely expensive.
They cheered on Canada at the last World Cup in Qatar. And before that, he was at World Cups in Brazil and Russia. But the prices weren't like this, with some seats for the opening Canada match in Toronto ranging from $1,300 to $3,000.
Even the cheapest ticket in Toronto is going to be $1,300 Canadian, which is basically the price we paid for 9 tickets in Qatar.
It's a big letdown for them both, having experienced the magic of previous World Cups.
Being there among the fans, chanting, singing the songs, and there's really, in my mind, no replacement.
The sports governing body, FIFA, emailed a statement to CBC News pointing to a huge demand for tickets. It says the pricing model's in line with other major events and has introduced a new supporter entry tier price fixed at $60 US for every match. James Covey from Halifax managed to get one of those tickets as a member of the Voyagers supporters group, but he's not impressed it came to that.
The game is something that's built by supporters. If not for football supporters, then the game wouldn't be what it is.
Covey's way at the back of the stadium in Toronto for his ticket that is $88 Canadian, but is thrilled he'll be there when Canada kicks off its campaign.
It'll be, one to remember, just being there, being inside the stadium for that event, and being there to see a moment.
It doesn't look like they will be at the game, but they are going to Toronto to be part of the experience.
It'll be great support too, and just enjoy the atmosphere because it's amazing.
And they still might make a last-minute decision to go to a game. Gareth Hampshire, CBC News, Cole Harbour.
Some beautiful artwork in Dartmouth. We've got Ryan up next with the full forecast. Stay with us.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
All right, let's get to your weather forecast now. Another mild one today, but I guess temperatures, they're going to be dropping.
That's right, and things could get a bit slippery.
Yeah, got salt?
Check.
Get some.
Yeah, you're going to need some for our Friday afternoon into Friday evening. As of course, so much moisture over the last few days with the rain, and now things are going to start to freeze up throughout Friday. Let's have a look at our temperature highs today, and you can see we got to 10 and 11 degrees, double digits, 12 in Telecom. Yeah, mild across the board, no question. Those temps still mild out there right now, still into the double digits in Sydney. Port Hawkesbury is still at 9. Inverness Beach is at 10. Telecom is at 11. So those temps are going to stay mild through tonight. The winds from the south to southwest, 20, some gusts in the 30, 40 kilometer per hour range. And then tomorrow, those winds are really going to become a story on the backside of this cold front, which you can see that rain pushing up towards Newfoundland. The snow that has been snowing itself from Quebec City, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, all in the snow zone today, wreaking havoc, really, closing schools there. This is the little tail end that we're going to be getting into here, but not nearly what the amounts that they saw back towards the major areas of population-wise of the country. There's the next system that's going to be rolling its way into from the west. And note the temperatures, again, really dropping here. -11 in Toronto right now. We will be tapping into some of that cooler air temporarily for Friday night into early Saturday, but it's not going to be hanging around very long, as that next system moving into the region will bump up our temperatures again. Here's how things play out. Overnight lows tonight, 3, 4, 5 degrees. Those southwest winds becoming lighter for Cape Breton, but remaining in through most of the mainland. Temperature highs tomorrow, exactly where our daytime lows are. So basically where we are at 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning for most of us, especially the mainland, that's as warm as it gets. Cape Breton, you folks will see temperatures remaining into that 5-degree range into the lunchtime hour, and those winds, we'll time out the winds in a sec, are going to be such a big story. So periods of rain tracking in overnight tonight. We're looking at another trace to 5 millimeters for most of the mainland. Could see 5 to 15, even 20 millimeters though for Cape Breton overnight tonight in through Friday. And by the time we get to 11 a.m., there are those mid-single-digit temps for Cape Breton. We're already at the freezing mark just before the lunch hour for the Tri-County area, starting to change over to some flurries. And the upper-level and low-level winds will line up for an hour or so, or a couple of hours, I should say, for tomorrow, in through the Bay of Fundy, Cobequid Bay area, where we could see some snow squalls developing. And so some dangerous potential driving conditions there because of that. Plus, those temperatures now falling below the freezing mark throughout the afternoon means that things are going to turn icy. So make sure you're keep taking care, watching that first step out the door tomorrow afternoon, as things again could be icy, untreated surfaces. 60 to 80 kilometer per hour wind gusts coming in by Friday morning as that cold air moves in, and then that wind will really ramp up across the rest of the mainland throughout the afternoon. Widespread gusts, 60 to 80. Could see some coastal gusts that do exceed that. Cape Breton into those stronger winds by mid-afternoon for tomorrow. And it's really going to be howling for Friday evening and into the early overnight. Then we're starting to see some relief from west to east as that system does move out. By Saturday, quieter conditions and overall a quieter day. Pretty cloudy. Couple of flurries, temperatures ranging from -1 to -3 in Cape Breton, and will be -1 to +3 across the mainland. Now, we've got this little wave coming through there, those few flurries for Saturday afternoon. On the leading edge of this system, the potential for a trace to 5 centimeters across Nova Scotia beginning Saturday evening into the overnight. Northern Nova Scotia, more likely to see that. The Valley, Hants, Colchester, Cumberland, the North Shore, and Cape Breton. Then we'll be looking at a change over to showers by Sunday morning. So a bit of a sloppy mess, but if you're driving early Sunday, a heads up on that. And then this system, which is turning my hair gray day by day this week as forecast models continue to differ on the exact track that's going to take. The American and European guidance has been kind of trending to the southeast over the last 24 hours, Tom and Amy. But as I showed Tom and Amy earlier at my desk today, the Canadian model is still well to the west, actually bringing a bit of a mixed bag. So Sunday night into Monday, storm potential still, but remains really up in the air.
Got you scratching your head for sure.
Keeping you working. All right.
Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, ice fishing is a popular sport in the winter in the region, but years of abandoned shacks and garbage at a wharf in New Brunswick have led the town to ban anglers from bringing large structures onto the ice.
As the CBC's Mark Leger reports, pop-up tents are now the only option.
For decades, this makeshift winter village off the Renforth Wharf in Rothesay has been a popular place to go ice fishing. A draw for residents who like to fish and tourists who like to take pictures and sometimes participate in this Canadian winter activity. But in an effort to deal with abandoned shacks and debris left behind at the end of each season, the town has put up a gate to block trucks from driving the large, custom-built shacks onto the ice. It now only wants pop-up tents and easily removed rental structures.
It's really unfortunate that the town had to come to this, but we've been trying for years to work with the ice fishers to, keep the property clean, the ice clean, be safe on the ice, don't go out on unsafe conditions, and protect our municipal infrastructure. There was one fishing shack last year that somebody sort of abandoned at the beginning of the year, and it became the community garbage dump on the ice. So it got completely full of garbage. Somebody left a hide-a-bed on the beach or on the ice last year. There were blocks all over the place. So at the end of the season, we brought it down a dumpster, completely filled that dumpster.
Mike Donovan has fished here for more than 40 years and agrees the problem has gotten worse. He and a group of people who care about being good stewards of the area have been helping the town clean up at the end of the season.
All ice shacks have to be off the ice, usually around March 15th. There's a big exodus of people, and they leave a lot of their stuff behind. And then there's a group of us that come down, and we just start cleaning up everybody's mess and take truckloads of stuff to the dump.
Still, Donovan says the town should work with the fishing community and provincial and federal departments to make it work, rather than ban shacks from the area altogether.
And instead of punishing the many for the acts of the few, just have the proper authorities deal with the violators.
Alexander says the town is prepared to change its mind and allow shacks back onto the ice. But he says the fishing community needs to be involved, rather than rely on the town and other government departments to make sure the area is taken care of.
Oh, absolutely. We definitely would be willing to work with if there was an association that was established that could actually work with the town and work with everybody that's out there, making sure that the ice is kept in a pristine fashion and that materials are removed at the end of the year, that people are being safe.
Donovan says the colorful, customized shacks were a big part of the culture of Renforth's ice fishing village. He says locals loved them, and so did tourists from as far away as Africa, Asia, and Europe.
They're always taking pictures, and I always let them catch a fish with my fishing rod, and it's just really nice to see that type of culture and that type of people coming together.
Donovan is most worried people will go elsewhere to fish, rather than come here with pop-up tents, bringing about the decline of this yearly winter village that's been here for decades.
Coming up, Ottawa suspends the planned export ban on single-use plastics due to tariffs and supply chain issues. A ban on the export of single-use plastics was set to come into effect a few weeks ago, part of the federal government's fight against plastic pollution. But instead of implementing it, the government has quietly suspended the ban. Tony Walker is a professor of Dalhousie University's School for Resource and Environmental Studies. His research focuses on the impacts of plastic pollution. So, first of all, Tony, I gather this came as a bit of a surprise to you.
It did, and it was your colleagues here at the CBC who reached out last week and asked me for comment, but I was unaware of it. I was probably busy hanging up my stockings just before the holidays, because this was announced just literally on the 20-something of December.
So why the change? What's happening here?
Well, this is a big surprise for me, because this has been a long time coming. The federal government initially announced a plan, a proposal really, to ban certain single-use plastics, including things like carrier bags and utensils, plastic utensils. And that was in 2019, June of 2019, in fact. So we've had a ton of time to prepare for this. So has the government and so has industry. So yeah, this has really been quite a surprise.
So what's behind the scenes? What's happening, do you think, that's impacting this?
Well, the way the federal ban was implemented, it was first implemented in, I believe, 20th of December 2022, and that was for, plastic bags, single-use plastic bags, and a couple of other items. And then they had a phased approach where the following year, in December 2023, some more items were listed. And there was always a lead time of about 3 years, up until, it should in theory have been 20th of December 2025, just a few weeks ago, as you mentioned in your introduction. And that would have been a ban on the production and export of single-use plastics. And now they seem to be reversing that.
And so do you have any sense as to why that is happening? What are the pressures at play here?
I think it's industry.
What do you mean? What industry?
And so even when the federal government announced the ban in 2019, they were hit by a lot of lobbying and pushback from the Canadian plastics producers and the petroleum industry. And so, that was to be expected. There's always, nobody likes, a federal legislation or a law to tell them what to do. But the government at the time did all its due diligence. There was a public consultation, members of the public, industry participated, academia participated. And the evidence, the science evidence was overwhelming, but also the public willingness to move forward with the ban was overwhelming. There was lots of support, but of course there was always pushback from industry, so much so that they even took the federal government to court, the Supreme Court, and actually won. And that was a couple of years ago. The Supreme Court overruled the federal decision for this ban and said it was unconstitutional.
So the federal government steps back from the decision, from the ban. What is the impact of that on global pollution, plastic pollution?
Well, what looks good here in Canada. So yes, we've banned the sale and distribution of those single-use plastics. That's been ongoing with this phased, iterative approach for a couple of years now. And we're seeing less of those plastics in our waste stream, which is great. However, the global plastic pollution problem is not going away. It's increasing almost exponentially. We're producing globally nearly 500 million metric tons per year. Much of that is single-use plastics, which the federal government's own science assessment stated are problematic, difficult to recycle, and cause harm to the environment and also organisms and wildlife.
And so do you think that Canada maybe looked at this as well and said, well, how much of the rest of the world is actually taking this approach that we were determined to do and are now backing away from? Did they think that maybe it was a bit of a drop in the bucket in terms of what really needed to be done worldwide?
Well, Canada has been, very progressive in terms of its policies. And in fact, in terms of, on a global stage, Canada belongs to a coalition of high ambition countries. And what I mean by that is for the last 3 years, more than 170 countries, UN member states, have been negotiating a global plastics treaty. And some countries who produce petroleum products and produce plastics, they're reticent to get on board with things like this, like bans, and also to reduce plastic production. But Canada, even though we are a petroleum producer, was actually on the front end of a high ambition to reduce plastic pollution. And here we are now, seemingly reversing the decision to continue, pushing now to continue to export single-use plastics, which really is disingenuous to the original intent of the ban.
We only have about 20 seconds or so. Perhaps unfair to ask you, but you devoted a lot of your life to this kind of work. How are you feeling about this?
I'm totally deflated, but there is a public consultation, and I'm going to add my voice to the list.
Okay. Tony Walker, good of you to come today and talk about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Coming up, the U.S. announces sanctions on some Iranian leaders accused of being involved in the crackdown on protesters.
And Canadian and Chinese officials are heralding a new era of partnership between the two countries, but there's still no breakthrough on tariffs. Welcome back. Iran's nationwide protests that began over its faltering economy appear to be dwindling in the face of the regime's bloody crackdown. Activists say the violence has left at least 2,000 dead, with more than 16,000 arrested.
Tehran, meanwhile, is now addressing fears over a spate of executions scheduled for this week. The CBC's Crystal Gamansing has more from London.
26-year-old Irfan Soltani's family says his scheduled execution was postponed. That information confirmed to CBC in an email from the human rights group Henga. Soltani's family has been in contact with that group. It's not known if or when Iranian officials will go ahead with the scheduled execution. In an interview on Fox News Network, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi outright stated there would be no hangings.
And there is no any hanging today or tomorrow or whatever. That's Friday. I can tell you, but I'm confident about that. There is no plan for hanging at all.
In that interview, Araghchi deflected responsibility for violence against protesters away from Iranian security forces.
There were terrorist cells. They got police officers, burned them alive, they beheaded them, and they started shooting at police officers and also to the people. So as a result, for 3 days, we had, in fact, fighting against terrorists and not, with the protesters. It was completely a different story.
His comments may have prompted a step down from U.S. President Donald Trump. He went from talking about a willingness to attack Iran to watching the situation now that the killings have reportedly stopped. And the foreign minister publicly stated there will be no hangings. The Trump administration did today announce new sanctions against Iran. Based on information from the U.S. State Department of Treasury, the sanctions target more than a dozen individuals and entities. Earlier in the week, Trump announced a 25% tariff on countries doing business with Iran. Crystal Gamansing, CBC News, London.
More troops from NATO countries are arriving in Greenland amid the U.S. president's threats to acquire the autonomous Danish island. A plane carrying soldiers from Denmark landed overnight, while a small contingent of French troops arrived Thursday, with others from Germany, the UK, Norway, Sweden, and the Netherlands en route. They're seen as a show of unity among European nations and a signal to Donald Trump that NATO can safeguard Greenland's security without an American takeover. However, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says she doesn't think their presence will change Donald Trump's goal of taking over Greenland.
President Trump is threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act, allowing him to deploy troops as protests against ICE continue in Minneapolis. That has further heightened the sense of fear and anger in the city, a week after an immigration agent shot and killed a woman. Agents used flashbangs, tear gas, and pepper balls against protesters Wednesday night. Demonstrators took to the streets again after a Venezuelan national was shot in the leg during a targeted stop. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security alleges the man attacked an officer with a broom and a shovel. Homeland Security has made more than 2,000 arrests in its Minnesota immigration crackdown since early December and is vowing not to back down.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says a new era of partnership has begun between Canada and China. He and his delegation held a series of meetings with business and political leaders in Beijing today. 8 new agreements were signed, but one key issue has still not been resolved. The CBC's Ashley Burke reports.
We saw a grand welcome here in Beijing for Prime Minister Mark Carney. China is opening the doors to Canada after years of diplomatic tension to reset relations. There was a band on site that sang Canada's national anthem, and also an honor guard that was there after Carney met with China's premier.
It's a partnership with new focus and greater depth and a sense of purpose. And I look forward to realizing its promise and building on it in the years to come.
Then Carney witnessed his ministers who are part of his delegation sign a series of agreements. And one of those was a memorandum of understanding to cooperate more when it comes to clean and conventional energy. Now, that document said that both countries will strengthen talks between ministers when it comes to oil and gas, resource development, LNG, and emission reductions, and it builds on past agreements. Both countries also signed agreements to try and boost the export of Canadian pet food to China, and also boost tourism between the two countries. There was also a renewed agreement around combating crime. But nowhere in those memorandums of understanding was a resolution to an ongoing trade dispute between the two countries. Carney is under pressure while he's here in Beijing to try and get some relief for Canada's agriculture sector, which is getting hit with retaliatory tariffs on a range of products, including canola and seafood. And that happened in response to Canada putting tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, just like the Americans did. Anita Anand, the Foreign Affairs Minister, on Wednesday said that the talks to try and come up with a resolution are ongoing, that those conversations have been productive, but so far we have not seen, at least publicly, any sign of a breakthrough. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Beijing.
An early and intense influenza season is filling hospitals across the country. New numbers show overall flu activity is starting to dip, but as the CBC's Jennifer Lagrassa tells us, some ERs remain overwhelmed.
It's a waiting game for people in this Toronto emergency room. But it's a different story for staff, the flow of patients constant.
We're now feeling the impact of a lot of our admissions that resulted from influenza A on our wards. Our hospital is full.
And because of that, some patients are waiting on beds in hallways. A bad flu season has this hospital stretched thin, but there are signs of improvement. New national numbers from the Public Health Agency of Canada show the virus is easing up. As of early January, 27.1% of tests were positive, down from 33.3% last month. Hospitalizations have stabilized and started to fall, but people 65 years and older are still landing in the hospital at a higher rate, and the situation is different province to province.
We still have to see where things go. What would be different about this year compared to last year is that our cases are going up higher earlier.
Parts of British Columbia, Alberta, and Quebec saw widespread cases in recent weeks. Whether the illness is on its way out or will continue to linger in part of Ontario is what this group of researchers is looking into.
We're well above average this year.
They're monitoring wastewater and say they're still waiting on more data.
We might see another rise as a result of people coming together during the holiday season.
Part of the reason why this flu season is hitting hard, the vaccine isn't a perfect match to the strain circulating, though experts say vaccination would still protect against severe illness.
It has put a lot of strain on the system.
But he says go to emergency if you have difficulty breathing, extreme weakness, or if your young child has a high fever. Jennifer Lagrassa, CBC News, Toronto.
An independent watchdog overseeing Canadian Telecom says customer complaints are on the rise. Julia Wong now on the one issue that has Canadian customers fed up the most.
We only have so many options in Canada.
Michael Ma has a love-hate relationship with his cell phone provider.
When it works, I'm satisfied. When it doesn't work, I'm unsatisfied. In terms of how much it costs, I definitely think it could be lower.
Telecom grumbling isn't new, but for a third year running, a report from Canada's telecom watchdog shows complaints at a record high. More than 23,000 from August 1st, 2024 to July 31st, 2025, a year-over-year jump of 17%. As in the past, both cell phones and billing dominate concerns.
I'm with Virgin, and I do find it pretty expensive.
We were with Bell, and then we moved to Public Mobile. Drastically cut our bill, like 25%.
As the cost of living rises, household budgets are tightening, and consumers are more sensitive to either price changes or, billing disputes that they may not have otherwise pursued in the past.
The Commission urges carriers to communicate more clearly with customers about their services and contracts.
Very often the carriers retain the right to increase some of those prices. And so consumers sometimes get a bit of sticker shock where they think they've agreed to one price and only to find that a month, 2, 6 months later, suddenly that price has increased.
Solutions won't be immediate. There isn't much competition in Canada. Rogers and Shaw merged 3 years ago.
We really need to focus on how do we bring more competitors into the mix without forcing them to duplicate the billion-dollar investments that other companies have made.
The organization representing Canadian telecoms tells CBC News the complaints represent less than 0.1% of subscribers. The federal department that oversees the industry says it's promoting competition in the telecom sector and using policy to make services more affordable. Julia Wong, CBC News, Edmonton.
This year's Juno Awards will take place March 29th in Hamilton, Ontario. And we now know who will host the biggest night in Canadian music. The CBC's Griffin Yeager has more on what fans can look forward to.
I've never had a nickname.
House host of the Junos has a nice ring to it for Canadian performer Mae Martin, announced as the 2026 host.
What I want to get away from is that like stuffy awards show feeling. I want it to have like the energy of a live music show kind of. So I hope the audience gets a little raucous, or at least our vocal, you know?
With me by my side. Among the folks sitting in that audience will be chart topper Daniel Caesar, who's being honored with the Juno International Achievement Award. He'll also take the stage. And Billy Talent will be honored with this year's Humanitarian Award for the band's social impact and philanthropy. Of course, the Junos wouldn't be the Junos without the music.
And I do believe it's time.
Two-time Juno winner William Prince will bring his roots-inspired sound to the stage this year alongside Hamilton's own Arkells and Toronto's The Beaches. From the success of Heated Rivalry to Martin's Wayward and Bieber's comeback, Canadian talent is everywhere right now. And Martin told me they're feeling that moment and they're ready to celebrate.
It just takes a handful of things to break through and show people that, yeah, Canadian content has global appeal.
Some changes coming to the show this year. Latin Music Recording of the Year will be awarded for the first time, and Rap Album or EP and Best Rap Recording will have updated eligibility requirements. The 55th Annual Juno Awards will take place March 29th in Hamilton. Griffin Yeager, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index finished more than 100 points higher today, helped by gains in the industrials sector, and the U.S. markets were up as well. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to break.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
Mild, I guess so. I can't find a speck of snow in my neighborhood at all.
But you're going to have to dig out your winter coat once again. I think
yeah.
no spring jackets.
It's crazy. I look back today. I know northern Nova Scotia is different, but the last time Halifax Airport had more than 5 centimeters down on the ground was December 17th.
Wow.
It's getting back there, yeah.
So, I mean, it was cold even after that, but just not a lot of snow, and certainly none to be had out there tonight as we look at the viewer picture of the day. Doesn't need to be snowy to be beautiful as we see this picture in Cow Bay.
No, that's gorgeous.
Yeah,
It could be the middle of summer by the look of it.
Yeah,
no,
no kidding.
it's not.
I know, yeah.
We can dream.
Don't dip your toe in there.
Yeah, that's right. Daniel, thank you so much for sharing this. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca, an absolutely stunning pick. As we look at the forecast tonight, double digits through this evening and through the east and Cape Breton. We're all kind of dropping back a little bit, but still very mild in the mid-single digits by tomorrow morning. The wettest weather in the east. We'll start to see some flakes mixing in the morning in through the west, and certainly by lunchtime, Tri-County, those westerly winds blowing in the potential for some snow squalls could get a little on the dirty side driving-wise for that Tri-County area in the afternoon, and then late afternoon into the evening, Cobequid Bay, Colchester, Cumberland, and then across into northern Cape Breton as well. Those temperatures dropping below the freezing mark. And just a quick look at these winds again, which will be widespread gusting 60 to 80 kilometers per hour, ushering in that cooler air. Let's have a look at that 7-day. So Saturday night and into Sunday, we'll see a brush coming in where could see trace to 5 centimeters, especially over northern areas. But we mix to showers overnight into Sunday, bumping those temperatures up. Sunday night into Monday, still potentially a system at play. We'll keep you posted on that. And the cold air, either way, sweeping in next week.
Be prepared. Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Check out this sky-high spectacle involving big risk and a whole lot of nerve. In the heart of the Julian Alps in northeast Italy, these winter sports enthusiasts are taking on a 350-meter-long sloping course of jumps and obstacles.
All of them built on a rocky ridge more than 2,000 meters high and just 1 meter wide at its narrowest point. It is a heart-stopping slide along the rooftop of the world.
Wow. Among those taking on the challenge is a member of Italy's Olympic team ahead of the Winter Games on their home soil next month.
Thrill seekers for sure.
Yeah.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.